Today we're talking about the 7 Artisans 35mm full frame fixed aperture. It's a f5.6 Pancake lens. And it's pretty cool. It's got a little lens cap, look at that. A little lens cap that you open and close. Now there is something about this lens that frustrates the hell out of me, and it's even making me consider sending it back. It's only $99, but I am considering sending it back. Now you can get it in a nice selection of mounts. You can get it in the Sony E, you can get it in the Leica L, you can get it in the Nikon Z, you can get it in the Canon R and the Sigma L. So you can get a whole range of mounts. So that's really cool. It's only 22mm high, so it's pretty small. You can put it in your pocket, you know, and just go out and take photos, travel. You know, if you have the Sony ZV-1 like I do, it's a fantastic, fantastic lens for that. But at f5.6, in low light situations, it's difficult to get a clean photo. Even if it's a little bit cloudy, you need to really raise the ISO so that this thing is, you know, getting nice, clean photos. And it's a sharp lens. It is a sharp lens, and it hasn't got too much vignetting, but it's got one flaw that drives me absolutely insane. The focus. I've taken a few hundred photos with this lens over the last few days, just walking around Łódź. It's my city in Poland, and oh my gosh. So I did film a little video just so you guys can have a visual of what's going on. But basically, when you open it, yeah, the actual lens, you get to a point where it clicks. There's a little click, so click right there. And that is infinity, apparently. And then you go all the way down to 30 centimeters, which is minimal focus. Now, if you want to go back to infinity, because say you were taking a photo of, I don't know, a flower or whatever the hell you're taking a photo of, and you go back to infinity, it's not infinity. It's not. It clicks at infinity. You have to go past that point to get to infinity. And then you're like, wait, is that really infinity? Then you go back and there's another click, and then you have to go past the click. So you're basically just going for a few hundred photos, and it's driving me mad.
This is a real-life example. On the bottom, I have added a magnifying glass so you can see quite clearly what's happening. You open the lens, it's infinity. Go down to 30 centimeters, then go back to infinity. Not sharp. Past infinity, sharp. But what happens when you go past infinity is that the lens cover starts closing, which might drive you crazy. But as you can see, when you go back to infinity from 30 centimeters, not sharp.
That's why I really am considering sending this $99 lens back, because of that one fact. Just the click, just the focus. It drives me insane. I like pleasure from using lenses. That sounds funny, but I do. I love lenses. I have over 100 lenses, easy, and just this is no doubt the worst focus mechanism I have come across. I'm sorry, 7 Artisans, because I do have the brand new 14mm cine lens. It's fantastic. The 35mm cine lens is one of my favorite cine lenses ever. It's got so much character. The 35mm 1.4 photography lens, wow. This though drives me insane. If it wasn't for the focus, and if it had a f2.8 aperture, I would love it to bits. I mean, it only weighs like 125, 130 grams, so it's really, really light. And it's really small, like 22 millimeters high. Really makes it a very good travel street photography lens if you want to get out quickly, snap a few photos. But if you're a street photography, you might be in dodgy places like I've been. And if you want to quickly get the focus and you can see like some goons coming and you're like, ah, my God, are they going to rob me? I've got my camera out trying to get focus. Oh, drove me crazy. Anyway, it's basically a nice all-metal lens. It hasn't got weather sealing. Like I said, it comes in a nice variety of lens mounts. We do have 5 elements in 4 groups inside. If that interests you at all, it doesn't interest me at all. I just need to know how it looks like when it takes a photo. And we're talking about 30 centimeters minimal focus when we get to the end. There is a lens cap. It is full frame, f5.6, 63-degree field of view. And that's about it. That's all the jazz. That's all the stuff you need to know. Let's get to examples and actually have a look at how this lens performs.
Now, this lens has a lot of character. And I really do love that it's 35mm, because 35mm is no doubt my favorite focal length ever. It's very versatile. It will allow you to take portraits, to take street photography, to basically take any kind of photo you want. And I love that the minimal focus is only 30cm. I wish, however, that it was an f2.8 so I could shoot in low light situations and have a faster shutter. It is pretty sharp. The edges have a tiny bit of vignetting, and the sides and the edges are a little bit murky. They're not super sharp, but that doesn't bother me in this type of photography. Just walking around documenting Łódź in Poland has a lot of contrasts in this city. There are a lot of places you don't want to go, and there are a lot of places that are very beautiful and getting renovated. So walking around with it, I've had a lot of fun, and I do like that it's very small. I just wish the focus was better, because when I get past infinity, I literally go absolutely crazy, mad, insane loco.
So those are pretty nice, right? I mean, it sometimes did take me some time to dial in the focus, and it wasn't maybe always perfect, but they're nice. You know, it's some nice portraits of my family. There are some nice shots around town in some very dodgy places. And for video work, it's okay. I would not buy this lens for video work. I just wouldn't. If the focus drives you insane, it for video work is just not good. I mean, taking a photo, okay, but for video work, don't do it. Get something else for video work. But for street photography, for $99, okay, sure. Let's have a look at charts, because some of you are interested in distortion, vignetting, and sharpness, so let's check those out.
In terms of distortion, -3 is about perfect in my tests. Going a little bit further, maybe -4, -5 might be a little bit too far, but -3 has come out the best in my experience. And if you want to get rid of vignetting, you might have to take it as far as 70, 80 if you want to get rid of those darker corners. They don't bother me, and I think they add character to the image. Sharpness in the middle, very nice and sharp, a lot of contrast, but as soon as you move off the middle, you're getting a milky, murky image. It's still fairly sharp, but it's lost contrast and it has got slightly softer and milkier and murkier. The middle looks good.
And in terms of flaring, it has some freaky flares when you put it on minimum focus. It really gets just crazy insane with the flares. And sun stars, it's got some kind of stars. They're not sun stars. I mean, you can't close down the aperture to f16 and get really nice, clean, pristine sun stars, but you do have some weird stars of some shape and size. They may not be what you're looking for, but it does have some kind of weird stars. Chromatic aberration is kind of normal. You can get rid of it in Lightroom. We don't really have to worry about that too much. It's just a slider and another slider, and you're basically done if you do find chromatic aberration. And the Bokeh Balls, the out of focus areas, they're okay. They're small. They're nothing to write home about. You know, it's just it's not wild. It's not swirly. It's normal. It's average. When we're talking about breathing, this thing breathes like crazy. It's basically that's what the frame does. But like I said, it's not a video lens. So who is this lens for? I mean, who's gonna go out and buy a lens like this for $99 when you could put in an extra $250 and buy the Brighton Star, which is, you know, it's got a variable aperture, which is awesome, but it doesn't have 30 centimeters minimal focus. It's got 80 centimeters or 70. That drives me insane as well. I would say this is for someone who's looking for a budget Pancake lens for a small little camera like the Sony ZV-1 or even the Sony a7S III, and you're going out and you want to put it in your pocket and take photos with it, then I would say that this lens is perfect. If you can get past the fact that it's an f5.6 lens and the silly focus problem where it kind of clicks. And it clicks. And then you go past the click, and then it clicks again. And I'm sure if you have the lens, you know what I'm talking about. it's extremely annoying, and I hope in the next version, 7 Artisans fixes that and makes it a lot brighter. I mean, I'd happily pay $200 instead of $100 just to have an f2.8 and get rid of the stupid, you know, clicky thing. I don't need the lens cover thing, not on a small little thing like this. Just a nice, you know, come on, you know what I'm talking about, 7 Artisans. Anyway, I will be reviewing their 14mm cine lens pretty soon. I've been doing some tests with it, and it's such a nice lens. Any questions, any comments down below. If you did like my video, give me a like. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. The bell is always, you know, should be ringing all the time. And I'm going to catch you on the next one.